What's up, gamers and gearheads? Brutality here to bring you another Coalition report where I give you all of that Gears of War news from the previous week. So let's get started with some general news. The Game Informer series End of an Era continues, and they have posted the Game Informer Top 10 Shooters. Again, they chose Gears of War 2 to represent the Gears of War series, which I do not agree with, but anyway, Gears of War 2 comes in at number 8, and what was number 1? BioShock. What the piss was that? The official Xbox magazine releases an article that says there will be big surprises from Microsoft at Gamescom, which is pretty much Europe's version of E3. My hope is that these announcements will involve Lancers and Locusts, but in my mind, it's pretty much saying that it will probably be Collector's Edition Xboxes to go along with other games. But hey, who knows? Polygon releases an article in which they interviewed Rod Ferguson. The article is titled Why Rod Ferguson Returned to Gears of War. Now, for those of you who are really interested in the franchise and about what's going on, I would highly suggest reading this article. It's really well written and there's a lot of cool information in there. Or if you're new to the franchise at all, this is a good way to catch up on what's been going on. It includes why he left Epic, what was going on at Epic, and most importantly, what I want to pull from, what can they do with the new Gears of War. So I'm just going to quote a few things from the article that I thought was very interesting. This first quote, it says that it's about staying true to Gears as opposed to how can we fundamentally just change it just so to change it creatively. Rod says that he wants to stay around what is the core essence of Gears. The article goes on to say that the core mechanics that we have, such as the cover system and quick reload, probably won't be messed with by Black Tusk. And Rod goes on to kind of explain that. He says, with Black Tusk, we have to show that we have a legitimate claim to this IP and show that we know how to do it right before we do it differently. It's about finding the right things to change. Also, something else to note within the article, he says that Epic left gaps in the story for a reason, and Black Tusk may be going to fill them in, or they may be heading into a new direction. Rod won't give me any information on this, but I'm dying to know kind of what story they're going to have. And something to highlight for you guys, this is not going to be the only Gears of War game for Black Tusk. Rod says, but I think there's no reason why Gears needs to be short-lived at all. I think it's about being true to the franchise and paying it the respect it deserves so it can have that longevity. Cliff Bleszinski advertised the interview with Rod Ferguson on Twitter, and a fan told him it would be really cool, you know, if you could maybe send some ideas over. We know that you did well with the Gears of War series. But Rod said, you know, Cliffy is probably done with the Gears of War series, so he will not be at Black Tusk. If you guys don't know, he has a new company called Boss Key that is developing a new game. But Cliff did say he emailed an idea to Rod recently. So Cliff does have a bit of that Gears of War love left in his heart. Now let's dive in retro first to some competitive Gears of War news. Make sure you guys keep an eye out for the Gears of War 3 tournaments that are happening on Game Battles. They are happening 2v2s, 4v4s. There's lots of stuff going on if you guys want to kind of break into that competitive realm, or if you're already in competitive and you just want to burn a little time. The prize money for this new tournament, which is on Sunday, August the 10th, is $625. Registration has already opened and is a 32-team 4v4 execution tournament. If you guys want to get involved in that, make sure you check the description for the links as always. Now let's jump into some team news. As you guys know, it is ever changing. BXC loses one of its members but picks up Casp. Defiance also picks up two of my older teammates, Enticed and Girolamo. Octanes forms a team called Infection with T-Myth, Phobias, and Rosado. And more as the Gears of War turns soap opera continues. Earlier in the week, NTR came back to the game with the old team, Clouds, Mental, Dispensa, and Kyle. Needless to say, Nick wasn't too happy, and I wouldn't be either, of Mental's leaving. Of course, Kyle left Demo. Demo was like, what the piss, I guess I'm a free agent now. And then later in the week, Dispensa tweets that he's moving Notorious to Call of Duty? Yes, that happened. But anyway, Clouts, Kyle, and Mental pick up praise for their fourth. And according to some sources, they are now called Flawless Creations. Make sure you guys are continually checking that team post on the forums if you guys are interested in competitive at all. Some cool things to note is J Mercs, Prospect, and Z Killer are looking for one. And in recent days, Atmo has been scrimming with them, so it's good to see Atmo coming back to the game. Not to mention J Mercs, Prospect, and Z Killer. Also later in the week, Nick and Flames pick up J Ribs. and they are now looking for a fourth. Also, make sure you don't forget that Cruel Summer is happening the weekend before Hype Festation Summer Jam. And that, my Gearsy compadre, is all the news I have for you from last week. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I love you guys. And as it's the COG turns, we'll have some more news for you next time. Have a great week.